Hello everyone, I'm Amit on behalf of Team Current Affairs Review, welcome you all. Here in this video, we are going to discuss salient features of Indian society, one of the inherent topics mentioned in Indian society section of the GS Pens paper 1. Now, what do we mean about or mean by salient features? Normally speaking, salient feature means the most prominent features or the defining features. I know in a number of materials, in number of books, we know it has been mentioned as the unique features of Indian society. No. You can check out the dictionary meaning. The dictionary meaning of salient features means the most prominent features or the defining features. Now, what are these defining features which shapes Indian society? The first and foremost topic that I can think about is caste system. We all know about caste system, we have heard of this. Subsequently, I'll be looking at patriarchy. It's practically one of the universal features of Indian society. Subsequently comes family as the basis. Then the dichotomy between traditions and modernity. Mutual respect and tolerance. Dichotomy between inclusion and exclusion. Subsequently, the community-centric life rather than self-centric life. And lastly, unity in diversity. Now, we say unity in diversity, but what kind of diversity are we looking at? It can be geographic, it can be cultural, it can be ethnic, it can be linguistic. Well, practically speaking, within cultural diversity only, the linguistic diversity that comes, simultaneously comes the diversity that we see in terms of dressing style, food habit, traditions, all these things. They all come within that particular topic of unity within diversity. Fine. Let's start with the first topic first, that is caste system. No doubt, the moment someone thinks of Indian society, the most prominent aspect that comes to the mind is caste system. Now, I have an issue here. We say caste system, and some people they say well, there are parallels of caste system across the world. Especially our British colonial masters, they talked about the caste system of the Portuguese. Now, no, sorry. Caste system, the way we have it, it's really unique. In fact, I would prefer not using the word caste, rather Varna. The Varna system that we have, Varna Vyavastha that we had, which had its origin in Rig Veda, Dasamandala Purushukta. That's quite unique to India. More so because the inherent subdivisions within the Varna system. We know about the four jatis, the four varnas, that is Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And even within these varnas, there are numerous jatis there. Good, so far so good. Jatis, normally speaking, we call them subcastes, and we think that jatis are inherent to one particular caste only. No, the concept is fluid. Till now, the sociologists, as they have understood caste system, they have covered the various studies, they actually tell us that nearly 3,000 jatis are there. And the uniqueness about jati is that one jati in one particular region of India can be part of, say, the Vaishya Varna. In another part of India, the same jati can be part of the Kshatriyas, or otherwise can be part of the Shudras as well. So, which particular jati in which particular region would be part of which particular varna, that concept is absolutely fluid. It is here where casta, the Portuguese casta, is practically different from the Indian caste system. Fine. That's one defining feature of Indian society. Subsequently comes the issue of patriarchy. See, again, patriarchy is practically universal in India. Yes, you must have heard of so many matriarchal societies in India. People may have been talking about the Nayars of Kerala, the Garos and Khasis of Meghalaya. well, hardly anyone would be specific about the Garos and Khasis of Meghalaya. They would talk about number of northeastern tribes. That's a very vague idea, northeastern tribes. There are so many separate tribes in northeast. Who? Primarily they talk about Garos and Khasis. But then again, I'm sorry to say, those people who talk about these two sections, they are actually making a common sense idea, which is normally extremely discouraged in sociological parlance. Anyway, let's look at these two particular sections of the society. Nayars, their family system is called Taravad. Within Taravad, the mother's brother, Mama, he becomes very significant. He's called Karnavan. It's Karnavan who actually takes care of the whole family. The property remains in the name of the mother. The children, they bear mother's surname. But then the property is looked after by Mama, and the responsibility, the fatherly responsibility towards his sister's children is again fulfilled by the Mama. So again I'm looking at patriarchy only, a father figure dominating the family. Not the father, but Mama, but a father figure. Similarly, among the Khasis in Kerala, the Khasis in Meghalaya, the property passes on from mother to the younger daughter. If the family, they're blessed with two daughters, the elder daughter, she is given a section of the property and she is separated after her marriage. Most of the property, majority of the property goes from mother to the younger daughter. On marriage, the husband of the younger daughter, he comes as Garjamai, as we understand, and then subsequently this particular person, this husband of the younger daughter, he learns all the trick of the trade from the father-in-law and subsequently becomes the authority in the family. So again, I'm looking at authority with men. That's what patriarchy is. Patriarchy, authority. Matriarchy, authority with mothers, authority with women in the society, can hardly be seen anywhere. And in India, I'm sorry to say, not a single society you can show me which is matriarchal. They are matrilineal. They draw their surname from their mother's side. The mother actually inherits the property from the grandmother and subsequently passes on. These things are there, but that's a feature of matrilineality, not matriarchy. Similarly, family as the basis of Indian society. Well, whichever way you may look at, we are born in families, born and brought up in families. Family is the primary tool through which society socializes us, and leave all these things separate. Let's look at ourselves, especially the majority community in India. We not only carry our family's name with us, we also carry the gotra of our family with us. Okay? And say I'm not going to look at in that particular social sense. Even if I look at from administrative point of view, what I'm seeing, let's look at the ancient India. We know in ancient India the largest administrative units were Mahajanapadas. Below the Mahajanapada were the Janpad, then the Vish, then the Gram, and below the Gram comes the Kula or Kul. Kul under the Kulpati. What is Kul? Again, family. Clear? Even if we look at the mythologies of India, Ramayana and Mahabharata, I'm practically looking at the stories of two families. Ramayana, what is it? The story of Suryavansh, Raghuvansh subsequently called as. And in case of Mahabharata, it's actually the story of Chandravansh, which was divided into two halves, that is Kauravas and Pandavas. So again, I'm actually looking at family as the basis of the society, even in the form of mythologies. Next comes the issue of a dichotomy between tradition and modernity. This is one uniqueness of Indian society. Yes, we are changing. I must admit, there have been major changes in India, especially since 1991. the moment a new economic policy was adopted, after that, lots of changes came to our society. Today, let's look at ourselves, starting from our food habit to our dressing style to everything for that matter. It has been changed a lot. Just think a boy, maybe from Chennai, from Mumbai, from Kolkata, from Delhi, anywhere. What am I looking at the attire? A jeans, a pair of jeans, a t-shirt, a sneaker, or a pair of sneakers. That's ubiquitous, right? So, whether you talk in terms of dressing style or you talk in terms of food habit, things are changing. People may say they are becoming homogeneous. How come? Food habit. More and more we are becoming fond of pizzas, burgers. KFC is becoming so famous. Starbucks, they have opened up in India. So this way, I'm looking at a new style of food habit. But does this mean that we are forgetting our traditional past? Let us look at the festivities. Whenever there is a puja in our home, we all would mandatorily go for the traditional dresses. Not only that, yes, I do admit that food chains or food joints like KFC, pizza delivery, they are becoming famous. But they are not, in any way, they are not actually curtailing down, or they are eating away the market share of biryani for that matter. Biryani as a food, as one of the most preferred choices of Indians. Or maybe you can talk of Sagar Ratna, Udupi Cafe, the various Bengali restaurants. So this way, wherever I may go, I'm looking at still the traditional aspect of my society dominating. Yes, India is becoming dichotomous, but I'm looking at cohabitation of both modernity and traditions at the same point of time. Let's take the discussion forward. The next point is mutual tolerance and respect. Again, a uniqueness of India. So many religion, just look at the society properly. It's so plural, so diverse, so vibrant. You can talk of any major world religion, whether that be Christianity, that be Islam, that be Hinduism, that be Buddhism, Sikhism, Judaism. They all are found in India. Yes, Judaism, Jewish religion. People of Jewish religion, they are found in both in Mumbai and in Kolkata. There are major centers of Jewish societies here. At the same time, the religions like Jainism, like these smaller religions, they are also there. And why just religion? You look at ethnicity, you look at linguistic division. Actually, for that matter, I need to look at the inherent nature of Indian society. There is one particular shloka which is very famous in India. Well, I must say the origin of the shloka is not from any of the Vedanta. No. In fact, at the same time, I can't also tell you that from where this shloka as such came. It says, Sarva Dharma Samobhava. Normally, by the shloka we mean, the normal understanding is that all the religions are just the same. Well, that's not exactly the meaning of this shloka. The original meaning is that all the path, or all the different paths, they lead to the same goal, or same particular direction. Whatever may be the meaning, but the basic essence is just the same. And as a result, what I'm seeing is that people belong to whichever religion they might be, or people belong whichever ethnicity or linguistic group they may belong to, they cherish each other's company. Yes, no doubt ethnocentrism is there. People, they do love each other's, their own culture, their own language. They have that sense of belongingness. But at the same time, disrespect won't be there. They would be concerned about their own identity, but at the same time, they would also be concerned about others' identities. That's something unique in India. The most significant thing is, look at the cities. You look at Gujarat, you look at Karnataka, you'll be finding one particular community, they're Africans. And yet they are maintaining some notion of their originality in India. The Jewish community, they were persecuted all across the world when they were forced out of their motherland. The section of the Jewish community who came to India, they never suffered from any such persecution. In fact, for that matter, Calcutta, or Kolkata rather, it can boast of the only Chinatown in India. Chinatown in India, in Kolkata. Right? So this way I am looking at an atmosphere of mutual tolerance and respect. Yes, it is there. The next point I'll be raising is dichotomy between inclusion and exclusion. Yes, Indian society is dichotomous. We have already discussed about the dichotomy between tradition and modernity, but this is far more severe. On one hand, I'm looking at the inclusive nature of Indian society. So many different people of different ethnicities, they came to India. Kushanas came, Shakas came, Hunas came. Hunas only subsequently became the Pratiharas. We know about the Pal Pratihar Rashtrakoot tripartite conflict in ancient history. They all were subsequently Indianized. Then in the medieval era came the Turks, the Pathans, Lodhis and Sayyids, these particular sections. Persians came. They were also Indianized. The Mughals came. They were also Indianized. That's something unique about India. That whomsoever came to India, other than the British, because the British came with a different objective. The British didn't come to India in search of a motherland or in search of a new land. The British came to India with the objective of exploitation. They were practically looking at an alternative of USA, which became independent in 1776. So they were looking at an alternative, and India was that ready-made alternative. So the British, they came with a different objective. Let's not look at them. But if I'm talking about any other community coming to India, what I'm saying, India included them or embraced them within its own milieu. Clear? On the other hand, the same community has also been exclusionary. How come? I'm looking at the so-called Ati Shudras or untouchables. I'm looking at women in Indian society. I'm even looking at Shudras in Indian society to certain respect. The privileges, the rights available to the Brahmins, to a certain extent, to a huge extent actually, to Kshatriyas, to Vaishyas, they are just not available to these particular sections. And by Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, I mean the men within these particular Varnas. Right? So yes, the same society on one hand has been inclusive and on the other hand also bears the mark of these exclusionary tendencies. No doubt about it. Lastly, the point of community-centric life rather than self-centric life. Yes, in India, we are looking at a unique way of life. What's happening is, whenever I'm looking at the Indian society, I'm looking at the predominance of the community or the society rather than a person's individual life. Whether you talk of caste system, the person is bound by the caste rules. You talk of the village panchayat. Even today, the remnants of that system is still there in the terms of khap panchayats. We all know about khap panchayats. See the way the dictum of the khap panchayat becomes binding on the people. Right? So it's not self-centric, rather community-centric. Community decides what a person is going to do. And not only that, there are certain good aspects of this and extremely good aspects of this. Primarily, I'm going to look at the issue of the various temples, gurdwaras, mosques which are built. We would always see that the temple would be associated with a water body. There would be an associated water body there. And the temple, along with the water body, they would act as an infrastructure or a mechanism of rainwater harvesting. whenever the rainfall happens, whatever water is collected there, that water would subsequently go. The water will be, the rainfall that will happen, the water of the temple will get collected in that water body. And the water would be preserved. People, they would refrain from using that water for day-to-day purposes. The water would primarily be used for the purpose of worship. And only when there is a severe exigency, say for example there is a severe drought, or all the other water bodies of the village, they have been contaminated by cholera or any other disease, people would start using the water of this particular water body. Clear? Simultaneously, look at all the gurdwaras, all the temples, all the mosques, they are always built on an elevated platform. What I'm seeing is, I'm seeing a localized mechanism of dealing with disaster. Say flood happens. All the people of the village, they would take refuge in that particular temple or gurdwara or mosque in that elevated platform. Result, they would not be affected by the flood water. And whatever prasad or the langar that would go on in the gurdwara or in the temple, people would be served food from there only. Yes, people, whether you talk of Hindus, you talk of Muslims, you talk of Sikhs, they donate very freely. And why do they do so? I'm looking at the utility here. The kind of service that the gurdwara or the temple or the mosque that provides to the people in the time of exigencies. It is here that system ultimately works. It works as a localized system of disaster management. That's where the uniqueness lies. Now, I said this as the last point. I know while discussing, I mentioned unity within diversity, especially the notions within that. Say the diversity in terms of geography, the cultural diversities, all these things there. No, I'm not going to discuss them in this video. We'll be taking it up next week, those sections next week. Why I'm separating them? Because unnecessarily this video would have been too lengthy. And not only that, the article, the material available with this video, it would also have become too lengthy. And more so, I want to discuss the previous question papers as well. The previous questions which have come from these sections. So that's why I'm separating that section. And along with the questions, I would like to make a separate video on that topic, which I'll try to come out next week. If you have liked our video, please like and subscribe, and please press the bell icon if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on Facebook, please like the video and share the video. Thank you.